2. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I love you for reasons I hope you do.
What's up YouTube, this is Albert Aldridge of albertaldridgefitness.com, and before we start off this video properly, I thought I'd give you a physique update because a lot of people have been requesting to see my physique ever since I've started off this lean bulk back in September 2016, as well as ever since I started incorporating a little bit more CrossFit style training into my weightlifting routine. If you want to see the first ever physique update of this lean bulk when I started off at 70 kilos, then I put a link on the screen right now, and I'm currently weighing 74 kilos. So I've gained around 8 to 10 pounds. My body fat percentage definitely has gone up, and I got my body fat tested recently at university. I was just under 10%, so now I reckon I'm around 12%. I am finding with this lean bulk that I have gained a little bit of lower abdominal fat, but apart from that, nothing too much. And I do find that I gain a lot of fat in my legs to start with. In regards to the CrossFit style training, ever since incorporating it, I've been doing a lot more weighted pull-ups. I mentioned this in my previous video, so I do find my back width has certainly improved a little bit. And I'm doing a lot more overhead pressing and pressing movements in general. So I do find when I'm wearing a shirt that my chest is a little bit more prevalent and sticking out a little bit, which I'm happy with. I'm on roughly 4,000 to 4,100 calories a day at the moment. I will go over my proper weightlifting routine in the next video, as I stated, and you will hear me state. And I'm able to maintain this current body fat percentage. I feel very strong at this body fat percentage. And obviously this is just one lighting, so I have, after this, put a few other clips of different lighting just to give you a complete honest overview of how my physique is looking. And I'm looking to increase my body weight to around 90 kilos because I've been reviewing some of the body weights and metric information of top CrossFit athletes, because I am looking to compete at the CrossFit Games eventually, and Rich Phoning is around 90 kilos. So I think that's where I'd like to aim for, just so I can remain athletic, be strong, but also be able to run fast and run quick times over shorter distances like a mile to a couple of miles. She just can't bark to save her life, can she? I always try and get a little bit of footage from her.
Get close to that.
Talk.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
What's up YouTube, this is Albert Aldridge of albertaldridgefitness.com. Thank you very much for clicking on the video. It's an absolute pleasure having you. And especially thank you James for reaching out to me and giving me some tips in regards to rowing. I haven't actually read the Facebook message you sent me yet, but it's going to be really helpful. The amount of feedback and the amount of support you guys give to me is overwhelming, and I'm really thankful for it. But I had quite a few of you who requested that physique update, and it's just so I could show you how my physique is progressing as I'm going more and more into this lean bulk. As I said in my previous video, in the next video, and I promise this, I'm going to be going over my new workout routine in order to build strength, build size, but also build my athleticism, and also learn the new moves that are required in CrossFit, and also how the increase in my food and caloric intake is going to increase my size, increase my performance. I'm going to explain all that in the next video. But just as a quick reflection on how my physique is looking, ever since I transitioned over into more CrossFit style training, I focus a lot on strength and a lot on bodybuilding, and do a little bit of CrossFit at the end of my workouts at the moment. It's more about learning the weightlifting moves, so the clean and jerk and the snatch. I'm finding that I'm doing a lot more overhead pressing in regards to the clean and jerk, the snatch, the push press. So I'm finding my shoulders are developing a lot more, as well as my anterior delts, a little bit the upper chest maybe. You could be the judge. My lower back strength definitely has increased because I'm doing conventional deadlifts on a consistent basis, as well as back squats very often. And that lower back strength is really helping my back squat. I feel very strong at coming up and ascending out out the hole in the squat. And I'm doing a lot more weighted pull-ups. So I'd say my width has improved a little bit. I have obviously put on a little bit more body fat. So I would say I'm around 12% now, just because I had it done at uni recently, which was about a month ago, and I was 10%. But I'm finding I feel very strong at this body fat percentage and this weight. I'm still looking to increase that weight though. I just thought I'd show you something because I get a lot of people requesting what I do. I won't go into a load of detail, but basically this is what one of my online clients has requested. It's a nutrition plan, and basically on this side I'm doing the customized nutrition plan in regards to meals, and all the food items I use, I put the calorie content per 100 grams and the protein content per 100 grams on this side, so they can have this to refer to if they ever want to take one ingredient out of here and implement something different. It's just teaching them about flexible dieting. And I had a couple of comments on my lean bulk day of eating video recently about needing to try a grenade bar as well as something from My Protein. I'll put them on the screen for you, and I'm going to be ordering them tonight or either tomorrow so I can have them to try in the next full day of eating.
What's the difference been now that you're more...
What is that?
Yeah, it's going very fast.
But they're doing that.
Every second you sit there is an hour off your life. No, you're way off on that one. Are you ever comfortable standing there?
No.
Try one of those?
What do you think you're doing?
Get my sweat on.
I build you this temple to the human body, and you're lifting what, 5 pounds?
I just did like 35 minutes on a treadmill.
I was watching you. You want to know how long it really was?
No.
8 minutes.
For reasons.
During this part of the video, it's going to be really helpful for those of you who sometimes struggle to notice that you have actually progressed with your weightlifting just because you focused a little bit too much on how much weight you've got on the bar or how many reps you performed with a certain weight. And I'm going to be looking at an excerpt from the NSCA's Guide to Tests and Assessments book. It's from 2012 and refers to a lot of scientific research we sometimes use at university. And as soon as the snatch footage comes up of how my snatch is progressing, I'm going to move on to talking about that and how I'm starting to get the form with that, but I'm still very rusty around the edges. So I'm going to put an excerpt on the screen, a little bit clip of the excerpt on the screen, sorry, and you'll see under the heading of movement patterns, the first bullet point talks about the complexity of the movement. And just to give you an overview, obviously, in regards to measuring strength, there are many more elements, not just the reps and the amount of weight you're using, that can be used to test your measurement of muscular strength. So, for example, with the first bullet point, it talks about the complexity of the movement. So let's just say, for example, if you're using the dumbbell bench press, say week 1, you're finding getting the form is really hard and it's very uncomfortable to perform the movement. But then by week 4, you can perform the movement very comfortably. You feel very confident doing the movement. That is a form of progression. The second point talks about postural factors. So for example, with a back squat, as you're seeing here, and I've just moved on, sorry, with the footage, say 1 week, you might find it really hard just because of your mobility issues with your hamstrings, that as you get to the bottom of the movement, you get a very rounded back and you find it hard to break 90 degrees. But then by week 4, you're able to have good retracted shoulders with the bar on your back. You're able to stick out the abdomen, have a good anterior tilt in the pelvis, so you get that healthy curved shape in the spine as you go downwards, and you're able to sit at the bottom of the movement below 90 degrees very comfortably. That is another form of progression. And by the way, guys, I'm going to leave a link to this excerpt from this book in the description, a link to the page in the description below if you want to read it word for word, because obviously I won't be able to go through all the information just in this video. The next point in the movement patterns, right, we're on to the snatch footage, so I'm going to move on, but as I say, there's a link to it in the description below. I always do all my CrossFit technique work after I've done my powerlifting and bodybuilding stuff, and what I'm working on here is just the top movement of the snatch, so being able to snatch the bar above my head and then go into a weighted overhead squat. And here, as you saw, I'm going to do a slowed down clip of it. What I found here is that the bar was going backwards, so I tried to lean back and then I had to throw it forward because I fell all the way backwards. But guys, you do have to fail in order to progress, so you will find that it takes a long time. It's a very patient, and you have to be consistent with this, but eventually you will find, oh, here I'm just showing you how I nearly killed myself and decapitated my neck. But eventually at the end of the session, I just about got just below 90 degree overhead squat with 40 kilos. So I was very happy with that. And guys, Just be persistent with it. If you're performing a new movement, whether that be the deadlift, the snatch, whether that be bicep curls, just be consistent with it and you will get it and master the skill eventually. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you'd like to inquire about my online nutrition coaching services, please make sure you send me an email. I'll put my email on the screen just here, and you can also find it in the YouTube description. Have a great rest of the day. I'll see you guys in my next video.
I love you.